Hey guys, just got out of the shower, so my face is more clean than usual since I usually shave before my shower. But I'm going to be using the Rex again, and I'm going to jump back into my boars. A few months ago, I think maybe if you're a regular watcher, you would have known that I'm going through about 7 different boar brushes, using them all in line before I start a cycle of using them again. And so they're all right now, I believe it's 17 uses. So we're going to start now with 18 uses on this Semogue 1305 boar brush. I like it a lot. It's kind of synonymous with the 830. Its loft is just a little higher, and I think the diameter may be off by 1 millimeter, but it's the same premium grade, I believe, is the name that the Semogue uses. Same premium grade bristles. And I've had that soaking now for about 20 minutes. And that's part of the kind of the boar break-in I'm doing. Is just I'm not doing any of the 3-day soaks like you may read for to help accelerate break-in. With these guys, I am just soaking them. I'm trying to get it from between 1 and 3 hours before of soak time before the shave. And on some of the brushes, I've gone way over that because I've gone to sleep or something like that. But and in this case, it's slightly under that. But I think by this time, this brush is definitely broken in fairly nicely. There may be some more tips that can split, so we're looking forward to that in the future. But all in all, it's a very comfy brush, more on the soft side. And so on to the other gear. The soap we're going to use today is Texaus by Noble Otter. And I really enjoy this scent. I'm glad I jumped on this one of those limited releases, and it sounded like one that I'd really enjoy, and I was right. I do. And Noble Otter's performance is really good. The blade we're going to use today is one that I haven't used too much. Some people really like it. Perma-Sharp stainless. Now I believe this is also called the super stainless, and I'll show you the blade. I think this is one that's kind of hit or miss for me. Sometimes it does well, sometimes it doesn't. I think we've had about 4 shaves with this blade. So let's go ahead and put it in the ambassador. So far the feeling in general with the ambassador is that there are just other razors that provide me with a more comfortable shave across several blades. There are definitely a couple of blades that work really well in this razor that give me a good shave even in my trouble spots. But by and large, there are just some others that do better. I'm pretty sure I like my Fat Boy vintage adjustable better than this modern adjustable. This one's stainless steel, and you can feel it. It's heavy. I don't mind that at all. It's fine. But I guess maybe it's just the geometry of the head. Maybe the blade comes in at just a different angle, and it's just a little less comfortable. A little more of a feel that you might cut yourself or work up some irritation, if you do something wrong, whereas the other ones just don't quite have that feeling. They can still maybe do that to you, but I just like the more comfortable feeling while still getting a close shave. All right. Because this is giving me that feeling and sometimes not giving me that close shave. And that's, we don't need that at all. All right, so Noble Otter, I've just scooped it like 1 or 2 times. And so let's go at it now, because I know I'm going to keep this guy. And we're going to shake out most of the water. Okay. And then let's see, let's do a 30-second load. And so right there is 15 seconds. So we'll go to 45. I can smell it coming up already. Read the description for kind of the official notes. I'll put my take on it as well as their kind of official line of the notes that are in it, if I can find. I'm sure it's available online by now. It's not a new soap. And there we go for 30 seconds. And it looks like we've got some good lather there to work with. Rinse off threads here, so the cap tightens up nicely every time. Now, what am I getting here? Just kind of all around good spices. Kind of warm, but not on the clove side or the peppery side, more on the kind of the savory, smooth side. Maybe a hint of vanilla, but maybe not. Just, it's hard to pin this one down. There's probably some woody notes in there as well. Yeah, sorry. Gonna have to rely on the official position. I think I've got a hair that's kind of itching me. See if I can fix that. All right. Okay, the blade is loaded up. Let's go ahead and start working up the lather. Now this is the Roger Quintero lather bowl. He designed it, 3D printed it for me, and the plans are available online, the files, if you have a 3D printer or you have access to one. I think Alan, my friend Alan, as a fellow shaver, YouTube viewer, he had one of these guys printed up and has been really enjoying it. The site he used to do it was Make XYZ, and and I think from what he said, it's kind of and that's .com. From what he said, it was almost like a brokerage where it hooks you up with people nearby who have a 3D printer who are just trying to make a little bit of money. Because I don't think the plastic filament used to print these guys is too much. I do think somebody said this thing took about 29 hours to print, which is pretty crazy, huh? So you can get on that website, or if you know of any others, you can definitely do that. Search on something like remote printing, 3D printing services or something like that. You might be able to find some other services. And I think the price was, he found a local guy, and so he got a great deal. I think $20 to print this, and that is a really good deal. If you can get it for less than 30, I think that's a good price. I priced it one time and it was like 60. And I think I don't know if it was just a premium rate or premium shipping they're trying to charge me. I'm not sure, but I think that's probably going to be too much money. I definitely wouldn't go for that. Lather looks great. So why did I choose Noble Otter today? Well, if you're a regular viewer, then you know that lately I've been just kind of experimenting with some soaps that are focused on post-shave moisturization. Maybe you don't, after the shave, have to use a balm or a lotion or something like that. And so it's especially handy for folks with dry skin. But for me, with oily skin, I experienced some drag with Holy Cow's Buffalo Base and Zingari Man, their vegan base. And so I decided, hey, I wonder if these, high moisturizing soaps and lathers, I wonder if, as they moisturize my face, if they're creating kind of an oily drag for this particular razor, the Ambassador. And you can see the angle of that safety bar and how that's almost, the whole thing is going to be contacting your face. So maybe with a razor that has a larger contact patch, a surface area, maybe if you use a high moisturizing lather with that razor, you might get some drag. So lately, that's kind of the experiment that I'm doing here. I went through I've mentioned the two that did give me some drag, and I think the ones that did not were Icarus, Milk Steak, both of those from Declaration Grooming, and then Barrister and Man Excelsior. All did not give me any drag, so it definitely is not a widespread pattern. But Noble Otter is another one of those. It's a superb soap base. The new version is, and I guess new version, maybe the new one that came out last year or something like that, in 2018. So it's not new anymore. But they also focus on nice high post-shave hydration, and indeed the lather does look very good, creamy and marvelous. Let's kind of see how it drops. I'll look at it kind of a nice stretch before it dropped, nice long peaks. Feel it with my fingers here. Oh, that's good and slick. We're almost there. This could be the perfect lather. I'm going to add just a little more water to it. I do have hard water at this location. Okay, so that's 3 teaspoons of water into this 30-second load with a kind of a smallish boar brush, soft boar. It's not a scratchy boar like maybe an Omega. It's a soft, comfy boar. The scratchy ones will pick up soap probably a little quicker because of their scratchiness and firmness. All right. Kind of pull it up this time and see how it stretches. Look at that. I think that's kind of right on target. Pull it down from the walls just to make sure we get a nice homogeneous mix. Okay, get my face a little wet. About a 24-hour growth on my beard this time. Yeah, this is a nice, if you want a soft boar brush, those Semogues have definitely got good options for you. Some might consider it too soft. You know, if you're trying to get exfoliating action and scrub and stuff, then this is not going to be the one for you. If you like a big brush, then this is not going to be, the one for you. But these are also inexpensive. Years ago, the synthetics weren't all that great. And so when people were just coming into the hobby and didn't want to fork over 60 bucks for a badger brush, the boars is kind of where they headed, for good reason. I've got some nice soft badgers. I've been using them for the last few weeks now, and I still enjoy bringing out a good boar like this one. And I definitely like them better than synthetics. Well, in the last several years, the synthetics have become really, really competitive. It's really soft tips because it's synthetic, so you can manufacture those. And they usually have, they're usually kind of springy, have a good bit of backbone, and that's where I put them aside and don't use them. I don't like a lot of backbone. They shove my skin around, even though those tips are super soft. The backbone of the bristles just kind of push my skin around. And so you won't see me using very many. I did stumble upon a few, one or two that had less backbone than others. All right, just to be fair with this test, I'm going to put it on a setting of 2. That's what I've had the last few shaves. It seems to be a pretty good setting for me, although maybe the 1.5, and someday I'm going to even try the 1. This razor I definitely like down at the lower settings for the comfort, while with some blades it still can cut pretty well with the right blades. All right. Oh man, yeah, this is sliding pretty nicely. Now I cannot give a full verdict yet because I think the day's growth of stubble can act to prevent the metal from contacting the skin fully. And can relieve some of that drag, and so we'll be waiting until the 2nd and 3rd passes to kind of evaluate the drag. But it looks like I nailed this lather. It's a really nice one. Consistency wise, I am really happy with the way this one turned out. Nice pass, very comfortable. All right, let's load up for the second one. Kind of partial rinse there. It's really funny how these brushes kind of hold more lather than big 26 millimeter, badger brushes. Because those guys, they just have such dense hair that they just kind of don't hold as much lather between the hairs. Where I never have to take one of these guys and go back to the tub like I often do with one of those dense guys. And if you like your lathers wet and slick and kind of more loose than a lot of the average folks out there, this softer type brush is going to be a lot nicer to your face when you have those kinds of lathers. The real dense guys like this Sterling Finest really turn backboney when they don't have a creamy lather. All right, cross grain now for the second pass. Still a very comfortable shave. Pulling my skin just a little bit. Don't want to over pull or overstretch. Not getting any drag yet. And rinse. All right. Third pass, plenty of lather, so it looks like that 30 seconds. It might be close to perfect. For this brush, I definitely have enough for maybe one, maybe even two passes more. So I might be able to reduce it to 25 seconds with this brush. And this is a nice wet lather. Creamy feel, luxurious feel. I mean, sure, it could feel creamier. But this is very slick. And I think it's a good test with what I'm trying to get, because it is a properly hydrated, well hydrated lather. And so I think I'm not getting any drag right now. And so I think anybody who gets some razor drag with this razor and Noble Otter is probably not hydrating their lathers enough. I do have hard water. And so, as you can see, this soap base is working pretty nice, even in hard water. Most of them these days really do. I feel like I made a little tenderness right there, going over that area. Ooh, that's not really a good close cut. I'll have to do a touch-up right there, if possible. Rinse. And then if you have a goatee, dab that water out of it. You don't want it to wash down your lather. All right, so that's 3 passes. Let's put a little more lather right there and try to hit that again. Looks like maybe the Perma-Sharp Super Stainless, for me at least, not all that good of a match. Now, if you can go against the grain, it may be fine for you, but I can't. Yeah, it's not really getting those hairs, so I'm going to stretch it over to the side a little bit. This is a straight 90-degree cross grain pattern right there. I don't think I want to aggravate my skin anymore. go. Final rinse. Sometimes when you get a comfortable shave, it's because the blade is not all that suited for your razor and your skin. And that's what's happened today. Felt nice and comfy, and indeed, on my cheeks, did great. But pretty much every blade's going to do well on your cheeks because it's a convex surface. It's in those trouble areas on your neck where you have softer skin and convex, concave surfaces like here. Soft spot right next to one's Adam's apple. For some reason, this one doesn't really have a problem, but the other one definitely does. You see a little bit of irritation. I can feel it too. And so this one's a comfortable shave, but closeness just wasn't there. And that's just for me. If you have exact same beard, stubble, skin, razor, blade, lather, shaving style, all those other variables as I do, you could probably expect a similar result. But there are just so many variables that most of the time people do not get the same result. And so the Perma-Sharp Super Stainless may be a great blade for you. And indeed, it actually might be a great blade for me in another razor, just not this one. All right, well, there we go. I am going to clean up and be right back. I do have, after the third pass, I did have 2 passes of lather left over. And that was a 30-second load, and I used 3 teaspoons of water. I do share those measurements not to say that's exactly what you should do. But number one, it might get you close to a good lather if you're having a lot of troubles. And number two, it just gives you a ballpark if you're having trouble. I could even duplicate the same measurements and have the lather be slightly different. Maybe the brush I didn't push down enough, or push down harder and stuff. So there's definitely variation even for me. But I just record that just as a ballpark to remind myself, maybe to save lather, because sometimes maybe I only need 15 seconds of loading instead of 30. Whereas in this case, I might mark it down as a pretty good load. I get a little bit of margin extra, and I'm cool with that. So, and I'm not saying that you have to do measurements as well. This is just for people who are having trouble. If you like to face lather and just load for a while and then throw it on your face, that's fine. I'm not saying that everybody should measure it in any way. Do whatever you enjoy and enjoy shaving. So I'm not seeing a lot of split tips on this guy. He does have a lot of flow through. He's not super dense, and that definitely is different than this Badger that I showed you before. Now he is going to look a little thicker once he fully dries, and of course this the black stripe that they've dyed this hair with does kind of make it look a little bit more sparse than it really is. But he's really soft now, and he's going to keep getting soft as the uses go on, as the tips split even more. If you like easy cleaning brushes, a soft feel, good flow through of the lather, not a harsh feel on your face, and pretty inexpensive. And this is a good Amazon buy as well. These are on Amazon for a good price, the $13.05 from Semogue. I think it's a great starter brush. And always remember, with boars, there's a break-in period. Don't be surprised if it feels horrible the first few uses. I like to soak mine maybe for an hour before each use until I feel it feels good on the face, and then try to give it a day between uses. If you have another brush to alternate between, then swap them each day, and that way this guy will have a chance to dry. That will help it to break in quicker. And so with these kind of brushes, it's just taken a few days of a few uses before I'm happy with them. I do have one online friend that has a Semogue that took months to break in, but that hasn't been my experience at all. So they're low price, nice soft face feel. So I think they're a great way to get into the hobby. Also, when you're breaking it in, don't be alarmed if you have to go back to the puck before each pass. That's totally normal. Eventually, once it holds more lather, you'll be fine to just start with the puck at the beginning of the shave, and you won't have to go back to it like I did today. All right, one of my favorite balms for after the shave is Stirling's Executive Man. It is inspired by the Creed Aventus cologne, super popular for good reason. Sometimes I wet my face with a little bit of water before I put it on. It makes it a little easier, less kind of friction, you know, on your face. And I like to go kind of with the grain as I apply it. Also helps to keep down irritation on the tender areas, especially my neck right here. Everywhere else usually is fine. All right, there we go. So the Rex didn't quite work well for me with the Perma-Sharp stainless. And so we'll put it over there to dry and use it again some other day. I know one other shaver online really likes that blade, big fan, so he must have found a good combination for him. And that's just the way shaving works. These blades are just microscopically different, and so there's just nuances to them to suit everybody's face, and that's all right. All right, well, there we go. This is the strength of this, the scent of this soap is pretty low, so don't expect too much from it. It's nice, I really enjoy it, and it's so low that I actually don't have a problem with it using it during the spring and summer, but it's since it's a little bit warmer and savory, not in a food way at all, but just a pleasant, spicy, manly, woody, musky, spicy, all that stuff. I definitely enjoy it during the winter and fall, the colder times of the year. So strength of the scent, I'd probably say maybe at a 4 out of 10, lightly available during the shave. So I'm happy with that because it's such a good scent. It's not going to get in your way or be obnoxious or anything like that. All right, well, there we go. Thank you so much for watching. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. You take care, and we'll see you next time.